Hi everyone, it's Lindsay with the Mom Edit, and I am here talking about my very favorite topic, comfort shoes, specifically Birkenstocks today. And I'm going to be answering the top 5 questions that I get on repeat about Birkenstocks. So just as a reminder, anything that I talk about today will be linked below. A little bit of background on why I'm talking about Birkenstocks. I counted right before I started this video, but I have tried on more than 50 pairs of Birkenstocks. That's a lot of Birkenstocks, and I have very strong opinions about Birkenstocks, and I get asked a lot of questions. Number 1, what are the best Birkenstocks? Number 2, what are the worst Birkenstocks? Number 3, the Birkenstock Madrids. They're the single strap ones. I get a lot of questions about if you can actually walk in them and if they stay on your feet. Number 4, I get asked a lot about breaking in Birkenstocks and any tips I have for that. And number 5 is, sizing, which is very confusing with Birkenstocks, so I will go into that at the end of the video as well. Let's get started. The best Birkenstocks are the Birkenstocks that you will wear the most, that fit with your personal style, as well as make your feet happy. So those are the 3 things. I actually just came out with the latest update to basically my Birkenstock encyclopedia. It goes through tons and tons of Birkenstocks with pros, cons, fit notes. So if you're looking for a new Birkenstock, that is a good place to start. My personal 3 favorite Birkenstocks are the Madrids, the Arizonas, and then the new chunky Arizonas. The Madrids I will go into more detail in a little bit because I have a lot of questions about the fit of those. But I love the Madrids because they are, I think, the most feminine and kind of the lightest Birkenstock that I wear. So I wear them a lot with dresses or in the middle of summer when I just want a very minimalist shoe. So in particular, I like the Madrid Big Buckle. I think the Big Buckle adds just a little bit more sophisticated look than the regular buckle. I also really like the patent version. I have the patent version in both black and in like an ivory off-white. The leather versions are great too. So the reason that I know that I love the Madrids are I own them and wear them in many colors. The second shoe that I wear on repeat, the second one that I would recommend, it's my favorite, is the Arizona Big Buckle. They are great, super comfortable, just like all the Birkenstocks for me. I wear those when I want a little bit more of a heavier looking shoe than the Madrid. Again, like I said, I wear the Madrids a lot with summer dresses. The Arizonas I wear a lot with pants and jeans. And then my third favorite Birkenstock is a new one. I actually got the black version last year, and this year I got the brown version because I wore the black one so much. They are the Papilio by Birkenstock Chunky Arizona. So they are different than the platform Arizona. The Chunky Arizona has a different sole to it, a different tread. I love wearing these shoes when I'm wearing just a basic outfit and I want to add just a little bit more something, specifically because I really like the sole and it gives me a little bit of height, and the lug sole is kind of interesting and they've been comfortable, and I wear them walking all over the city like I do all of my Birkenstocks. Next question that I get are what are the worst Birkenstocks or my least favorite? And I do like most Birkenstocks. However, there have been some Birkenstocks in my trials that are just not for me. So this year, a new Birkenstock that is so cute and I wanted to love is the Papilio by Birkenstock Theta Wedge. It's got puffy straps and more of an on-trend Birkenstock look, and they're really, really cute, but they do not look good on my feet. When I Velcro the strap or close the strap, it doesn't close all the way on my feet, and so you can see the Velcro and they look funny. It's possible if you have thinner feet that they may close and look better on you, but they just weren't for me. The other Birkenstock that is definitely not for me is the Giza braided Birkenstock. I tried that one a few years ago and I literally could not get them off of my feet fast enough. Gizas aren't my favorite in general, but the Giza braided one was terrible. It was so bad, so uncomfortable. So I would not recommend that one. The other one that I was actually surprised about that is not for me is the platform Papilio by Birkenstock Arizona. They are cute. However, I just really like the chunky version with the lug sole better than the regular platform version. I'm hoping that maybe next year they come out with the platform version with big buckle, because I think actually the platform with the big buckle might be a nice option if you don't want the lug sole. With the regular buckle, they just were a little too plain for me. So my favorite, really my most worn and my favorite Birkenstock is the Birkenstock Madrid. It only has one strap and it definitely does not work for everyone. I know specifically a couple people on the Mom Edit team cannot wear them because they will not stay on their feet. I have no problems with this. I think it just depends on your foot. Unfortunately, I think you have to try them out, at least in your house. One thing I would suggest trying is doing the buckle at different lengths, and it doesn't necessarily need to be tighter to be more comfortable. So before you make a decision, I would say try them on at home, walk around with a different strap length, see how they feel. And like I said, for some people they work. I've had no problems. I literally walk the entire city miles and miles in these shoes and have no problems. But other people, they do fall off when they walk. And for them, I suggest doing the Arizonas, especially in the big buckles. They come in almost all the same colors and the same buckle combinations. And they're also a great minimalist, sophisticated looking Birkenstock. How long it takes to break Birkenstocks in depends a lot on the condition of your foot. My favorite material is the patent Birkenstock material. I love the way it looks. It's easy to dress up and it also looks good casual, but it is also the hardest material. And I know some people have a difficult time getting used to it. Suede is the softest for my foot. When I'm trying things on, that immediately feels super soft and nice. The Birkofloor vegan material is pretty soft as well. And then it kind of goes to the regular leather. And then I'd say the hardest to break in is the patent leather if you're not used to it. So if you've been wearing Birkenstocks for a while and your feet are used to them, it takes no time for my foot to get used to wearing a new pair of Birkenstocks now, as long as I've been wearing Birkenstocks on repeat. But if you are not used to wearing Birkenstocks, it does take a while. What I suggest is definitely wear them for shorter periods of time around the house before you wear them out to make sure that they're not rubbing anywhere or aggravating your skin. One other thing that I do when I have new Birkenstocks, especially if it's the beginning of the summer and I haven't been wearing Birkenstocks, is I will wear them around the house with different strap lengths just to get a little bit more movement and to ease it in a little bit more. Birkenstocks have two different widths. The width is very confusing. Even the sizing, I find a little bit confusing. So I wear a 7 or a 7.5 in sandals and boots and sneakers. However, I size down to a 37 in almost all Birkenstocks except for the Gizas. And then in terms of widths, to break it down, there are two different widths that Birkenstocks offer. So one is AB, and 2 is CD. The AB, they call that the medium/narrow. The AB are the ones that are offered at most retailers. The confusing part is some retailers call it narrow, some call it medium, some call it A, some call it B. So one way you can double check, on the footbed, right by the size number, there is a foot. And if it's colored in, then you know you have the AB size, which is the narrow/medium. I actually have a wide-ish foot, but I still wear the AB in almost all Birkenstocks. The other width that they carry is a CD, which they call regular/wide, which is where it gets confusing because one is medium, one is regular, very confusing. But the regular/wide that is labeled CD is the wide footbed that most of the time is only available on Birkenstock's site. The way to know that if you have the wide version is there's the little foot, but the foot is not colored in. It's just an outline of a foot. I want to reinforce that even though it says regular and /wide, it's not what you would normally think of as regular. I think of the AB as the regular that are labeled narrow/medium. Okay, I think that is it. We're gonna link below in the discussion to all the different shoes and styles of Birkenstocks that I talked about today. We'll also link to my previous posts on Birkenstocks that give more detail about more varieties of shoes, as well as the ones that I talked about today. I will see you next time, and thanks for joining us on this channel. All right, take care.